I'm so excited to be live today. Happy Tuesday and happy March. It may have been March when I went live last week, but I can't remember. But either way, I'm so excited that spring is here. Although my allergies are starting to kick in. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but literally, I noticed I was blowing my nose a lot over the past couple of days, and I'm like, am I getting sick? And then I started feeling the tingles in my nose and my throat getting itchy. I said, oh, it's that time of year. It's that time of year. So I took a Zyrtex for the first time since last year, and I've set my alarm so I can consistently take my allergy medicine every day. And we're back on it like clockwork. But anyway, I'm so excited to be here today. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys about job loss and navigating that space with confidence and style. But real quick, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kristen Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of SCB Luxury Styling, where I help aspiring, sophisticated women align their inner beauty with their outer appearance. And I do that through body shaping and helping women to understand their body shape. Also, do that through capsule wardrobing and confidence building. I've been in the styling industry for over a decade, and I'm so excited to continue to still be here, to show up for you all, to educate you all, and just give you some styling advice, and to continue shifting your relationship with style because that is my overall mission. So I'm so excited trying to figure out why this curl keeps sticking up. But I'm so excited to be live today because I figured I'd cover this topic because I know a lot of you are in this space where maybe you have just recently lost a job. Maybe you have decided to resign from your job. Maybe you decided to leave one job and go on to the next. And if you are in any of those spaces, I definitely want to make sure that I create a safe space for you all to continue learning and to continue growing in that space, but to also make sure that you are in a space to properly transition and not feel like, you have to doubt yourself or not feel like, it's the end of the world or life is over, but to know that something new is starting, to know that this is the perfect opportunity for growth, to know that things are getting better. Sometimes things have to get bad in order for them to get better. Sometimes things have to get worse in order for them to get better. So I just want to shift your perspective on where you currently are because I've been where you are multiple times. I was actually thinking through before I went live today, I was thinking like, oh, well, I've honestly been out of work for I've been out of work three different times. Two of the times I decided to leave, and then I think honestly it was more than three times. Another time I was let go. Another time I was let go, but I had a job already. So there were so many instances where I was either let go, I decided to resign, and I did not have a job, or I was let go and decided to resign, but I had another job to fall back on. So I've definitely been in this space multiple times, been on unemployment, had to ask my parents for money, had to ask family and friends for money, and it was scary and it didn't feel good. I felt uncertain. Hey y'all, let me know where you're tuning in from. I felt uncertain. I was scared. I had student loans that I had to pay, and it was a lot. It was a lot. They were calling me. This was back when Sally Mae was a thing, Navient was a thing. They were calling me, just doing the most, and it was very scary. It was very scary because I didn't know when I would get a job. I didn't know where my next paycheck was going to come from. I didn't know any of that. So I honestly, completely understand the space that you're in. And I get it. I get that it's not an easy space to be in, and I get that it's easy to be scared and it's easy to feel uncertain. But I want to shift your perspective a little bit today. Again, I want to encourage you to know that this is only temporary. This space is only temporary. I'll just share my story real quick. The first time I was out of a job, it was my first big girl job straight out of college in 2016. I thought I was going to be working for that brand and working for that company for forever. And I was only there for 8 months. And being in the business of sales and being in the business of styling and the fashion industry, a lot of people don't really care about your expertise. A lot of people don't really care about how well you do your job. It's really all sales based. It's really all money based. Everything and honestly, everything is about money. So, at my first job, when I wasn't reaching my sales goals, when I wasn't able to make my monthly goals, I had to be let go. And I literally cried at my desk, y'all. I cried at my desk on my last day. I went in that day thinking, okay, maybe maybe I won't lose my job today. Maybe, something, a miracle will happen, and I'll honestly, maybe I'll just reach my sales goal out of nowhere and I'll be good to go and I'll be able to keep my job. Maybe. And that didn't happen. I was still let go. I had to pack up my stuff at my desk in front of everybody. Literally was tearing up while I was doing it. And I left that job feeling very discouraged. I left that job feeling like, what am I going to do? I have these student loans and I need something so that I can pay back my student loans and to also pay my bills. What am I going to do? And although I loved that job, I enjoyed working there, I appreciated that experience, my time was up, my season was up, and God was now moving me into a new space. I was literally out of a job, y'all, for maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I ended up getting another job. I ended up working so that previous job, I was a stylist for a brand. My next job, I ended up becoming a executive assistant for a fashion designer. So this was an interesting opportunity. Working for a smaller brand, working for a smaller company, was literally four of us: the owner, two seamstresses, and then me. So y'all, I had never been in this space before. This was very new for me. Was I good at being an executive assistant? I don't know. It was my first time actually doing something like this, but I was running my own business as well. So, literally, what I was doing for her, sending emails, scheduling appointments, booking clients, scheduling calls, sending out newsletters, all the things that I was doing for her and social media, I was also doing for myself. So, I learned a lot throughout that time working for that designer and being an executive assistant. And that opportunity only lasted for 10 months. I was still running my business, but it didn't pay a ton. It was a job that I enjoyed a little bit, but after a while, it just seemed very taxing and it just honestly did not make sense for what I was trying to do. So I was there for 10 months and I made the decision to resign. So now, my second time being out of a job, but instead of it not being my choice, or instead of it not being the brand's choice, it was my choice. It was very scary. I literally had to ask if I could see her for a second out in the hallway, and I handed her my resignation letter that day. She seemed a little shocked and a little upset, but at that point, it was my time to go. Thankfully, I had already had another job, and that became my next focus. So, second time being out of a job, but this time it was slightly different. Was I scared? A little bit, but I knew that my time was up and that job was no longer for me. While I was executive assisting, I started hosting my own events. I started building my mailing list, my emailing list, and I really started doing a lot of entrepreneurial based things aside from running my business. So sometimes you're in certain spaces in your life and it pushes you in a completely different direction. Sometimes a direction that you were always meant to go into, but you just never were in the space to even think to go in that direction. So, although I decided to resign from that job because it ended up not really being what I thought, I'm so thankful for that opportunity because it pushed me in the direction that I was meant to go in. So, I started hosting events, y'all. I was making money from that and I was still able to continue paying, my student loans and my bills. Great. And then I also had a job to fall back on. The next time I was let go from a job was 2018. I was working at a call center for a brand, and I was there as a seasonal sales associate. And I was really good at my job. I'm really good at talking to people, really good at customer service, really good at doing all the things. And customers slowly stopped calling, and a lot of the work just started to dial back. Because I was seasonless or a seasonal associate, they hired me during a time where business was very hectic. So during the holidays, so Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So it was a lot going on. And after that rush, come February, March, things started to slow down. So they called me into a room. I didn't know what was going to happen. And they said, "Oh, we're going to have to let you go. Things have started to slow down. And, you know, you're basically just next on our list of letting people go." And I said, "Okay." At this point in time, I had been let go 3 times, or twice, I'm sorry, and resigned once. So I wasn't new to this space, but it was kind of shocking because I had no idea it was coming. So again, I get it. I understand, being let go and not really knowing what is to come. My last time, or at least that I can remember, the last time I was let go was the worst, I will say. It was the worst because that was the longest time I had been out of a job. Now, the third time I had been let go, I had another job to fall back on once again. So it wasn't too scary. I was okay. But the last time I was let go, honestly, it was 2 other times, but this time, just for the sake of time, I'm going to talk about the last time I was let go in 2023. That was the longest time I was out of a job. I was out of a job for almost a year. No, no, I'm being dramatic. It was about 10 months, 8 months. I was out of a job, and I had applied so many different times. Now, the way this happened was I was working for a brand as a stylist once again, and literally was just got promoted to being full time and was on salary. This was my first time I was a salaried worker, a salaried stylist. And I'm like, "Oh, bet. So my checks will be consistent. I technically don't have to clock in anywhere. Like I'm gonna be good. I don't really have to worry about anything. I love what I do, although it can get annoying, but I still enjoy it. I'm doing what I love. Great." And randomly was out running errands on the clock and got a Slack message from my manager's manager. And she asked if I, was available to take a meeting. And mind you, I was out, so I'm like, okay, well, let me hurry up and get in the car. I don't want them to think that I'm just like doing whatever. Um, so got in the car, hopped on the meeting, and it wasn't just me. By my surprise, it wasn't just me on the meeting. It was me and basically all my coworkers. And my manager's manager said to us, "Hey, yeah, I mean, we love, everything that you all have been doing. We truly appreciate y'all, but we're going to have to let you all go effective immediately." And I literally, everybody was on the call like, what? No one knew that this was happening. It was very all of a sudden. And that was the first job that I had gotten let go from, that they actually offered us severance. So I'm like, okay, I got a little bit of money for a little bit of time. Hopefully, by the time that runs out, I'll have another job lined up. Mind you, I'm still working my business behind the scenes. It's not like I never had anything to fall back on, but you know how business can be. Sometimes it can be up, sometimes it can be down. So it's always nice to have a job to fall back on, in those times where it's not going the way that you expected. But okay, business was going good. So I wasn't terrified, but I was in the space where, okay, I've seen this before. I can go out and get a job. Not a big deal. I have the experience. I can easily apply for something else. Y'all, I probably have applied for over 100 jobs. And every single job that I applied for was a no. Every single job. If I didn't hear anything back, I just didn't hear anything back. Or if I did hear something back, it was a no. Or if I did hear something back, it was, "Oh, we found someone else to fill the position." Or, "Thank you so much for your interest, but we're gonna go in a different direction." This was January of 2023. And thankfully, I was in a space where I could get on unemployment. So I was able to be on unemployment for all of that year. Now, the other times I was out of a job, I applied for unemployment, it did not work. I was not accepted. And it sucked. But finally, I got an opportunity to get a severance and I was on unemployment. So I was good. I was good. It wasn't until August of 2023 that I finally ended up getting another job, y'all. So there was a lot of time in between that time that I was receiving unemployment and just wondering when I was going to get another job outside of my business. So it was a lot, y'all. It was stressful, but not as stressful as the first time because, again, this was my fourth or fifth time being let go. So, I mean, I completely was, for the most part, at peace, but still wondering when was I going to get a job? When was my business going to pick back up? When were things going to go back to normal? But they never really did. So I want to encourage you, if those of you who, were recently let go and or are in a space where you're not really sure if you're going to have your job for tomorrow, you have to find your peace. Your peace is not in your job. Your peace is not in your bank account. Your peace is not in your biweekly checks. Your peace is internal. Your peace is in God. Your peace is in you, and what makes you feel good, what makes you not stress out, what makes you focus on what's important. Your peace cannot be put into other things. So let me get to what I actually wanted to talk about today because I did not plan to talk about any of that for the first 16 minutes. But today I wanted to walk you through navigating job loss with confidence through style because I've been where you are. And one thing's for sure, two things for certain. I've never looked like where I've been through. I've never started to dress differently because I didn't have a job. I honestly, not having a job made me want to show up even more in the right spaces and in the right places. So, number one, I want you to first start by acknowledging the emotional impact. I feel like many of us are so quick to find the next thing, so quick to apply for the next thing, and that's great. But acknowledge what you've experienced. Being let go from a job is not a good feeling, especially if it happens like randomly, all of a sudden. So acknowledge how you feel. If you feel stressed, okay. If you feel sad and you feel like you need to cry, okay. If you're overwhelmed, okay. If you're fed up, that's okay. Feel how you need to feel. Acknowledge that emotional impact because having that experience and then going straight into another job, I would not recommend it. 0 out of 10. I would not recommend that. Give yourself some time to take a breath. Give yourself some time to take a step back and to truly understand what you've experienced. And allow yourself to get back on track. Give yourself time to get back on track before you start taking interviews and before you start applying. The bills will get paid. The money will come. Although they may not get paid on time, although the money will come when you may or may not want it, or what can I say? Although the money may or may not come when you need it to, it will come exactly when it's supposed to. So don't stress out. Don't worry. Find peace elsewhere. Find peace in knowing that you're still here and that you're still capable to even work, that you're still capable to even serve people and help people and do what you do. So losing a job can be a blow to confidence and identity. It's okay to feel lost. But your style is a tool to help you to keep pushing forward and to regain yourself and your control. A lot of the times you cannot control your job experience. You cannot control being let go. You cannot control what you've gone through. But you can control some other things. You can control what you look like. You can control how you're showing up. You can control what you're wearing. And that's one thing I learned at an early age. Even when I started getting let go from these jobs, millions of times that I've been let go. Although I've been let go and it's something that I can't control, I can control how I'm showing up. I can control what I look like and what I'm wearing. And being let go, like I said, did not change me. It did not change my personal style. It did not change really anything about how I was showing up. If anything, like I said, it made me want to show up even more. It made me want to get dressed even more. It made me want to be even more intentional about what I was wearing and where I was going, and what I was wearing where I was going. So I want you to think about that, because dressing well isn't really about impressing other people. It's about you. It's about how you feel. If you don't feel like getting dressed today, still get dressed. If you don't feel like putting on a little bit of makeup, doing your hair, still do it. Who wants to live in that space? You can feel your emotions, but you don't need to stay in that space. Hey Zarina, you don't need to stay in that space. You're only hurting yourself if you continue and make that choice to stay in your space, in that space, because it's a choice that you have to make. It's a choice whether you want to continue to be depressed about losing your job, or whether you want to shift your perspective on, okay, I lost my job. What else can I do? What are my strengths? What can I focus on? What can I prioritize right now that's important to me? What bills do I have coming up that are a priority? Where can I pull some extra money from as of now? Okay, I'm getting a severance. Let me be a little bit more intentional about where this money is going. Maybe I need to pay this bill, or maybe I need to do this to make more money from it so that I could pay this bill. Or maybe I'm just going to call all my bills, all the companies where I pay my bills to, and let them know that I've been let go from a job, and ask them if I can have some type of lenience, or some type of delay on my bills. Think outside the box. Don't assume that people are going to say no, or don't assume that things have to go a certain way. Think outside the box. Maybe call and ask if you can get an extension on your rent. Maybe call and ask if you can get an extension on your mortgage. You're not the only person who have ever lost their job before. So think outside the box and see what you can do currently to help yourself, to alleviate some of that stress. Because again, being stressed doesn't really help the situation at all. So finding your peace in other things. Your job is not your peace. Your bank account is not your peace. Having money and having a strong foundation financially is not your peace. So find your peace. Acknowledge that emotional impact and find your peace. So number 2, dressing for the transition. So I wanted to talk about this because I feel like just because you're in a transition doesn't mean you should stop doing what you're doing. Doesn't mean you should stop showing up. Doesn't mean you should stop getting dressed. The transition is the perfect time to continue getting dressed, because you're transitioning into something bigger and better. Like I said, you've been let go. You're in a space where you don't currently work. You don't have a job. And now it's like, okay, I am moving into a different season of my life. I'm moving into a different chapter. Maybe I should start paying more attention to what I'm wearing. Maybe I should switch up my style, because now I'm no longer the person that I was when I had that job. Now I'm somebody completely different, going into a new space. So maybe I should start wearing more color. Maybe I should start wearing more pieces that really align with who I am as a person now. Because what I was wearing from that other job, that wasn't me. That really wasn't me. Now I can actually wear what I want. Now I can actually show up as the person that I currently am, because that job was boxing me in. Some of y'all have been let go from y'all jobs for a reason, because y'all were either meant to start businesses, y'all were meant to create opportunities for yourself, y'all were meant to serve other people at different capacities. So job loss isn't always a bad thing. A lot of the times it's a good thing, because it leads you again in the direction that you were meant to go into. So dress for the transition. Shift your mindset. Instead of dressing for what was, dress for what's next. So maybe go through your wardrobe and get rid of those pieces that remind you of that job, remind you of the past that you're no longer a part of. And I always encourage my clients to cleanse their wardrobes every quarter, every season. Every season something is changing. Every season something looks different outside. So there's some type of transition that's happening. So start with your closet. Start with what you have. Go through what you have and get rid of those pieces that no longer suit you. Get rid of those pieces that no longer align. with who you are, that no longer align with your body shape, that no longer align with where you're going. And start fresh, start new. Even if you're working from home or job hunting, put effort into how you present yourself. Now, right now, I have on workout clothes because I'm holding myself accountable to make sure that I work out today. But after this, I'm going to put on something comfy but cute. I feel like because things are comfortable, because things are relaxed, doesn't mean you have to wear sweats. Doesn't mean you have to wear big t shirts and leggings. You could dress up a nice pair of leggings. You could dress up a comfortable t shirt. Just put some effort into what you're wearing. I lie to you not. It's going to make you feel so much better when you're applying for these jobs, sitting at your desk. You're going to feel motivated. You're going to feel inspired. Really, depending on what you have on, is going to affect your mood. It's going to affect how you show up. Hey, Marlo. It's going to affect how you show up. And it's a science behind it. Like, we all say it. Like, what's the saying? Now I can't think of it. But the saying is how basically how you look is how you feel. So if you have on a big t-shirt and sweatpants, I, I would feel sleepy. If you had on your robe all day, you would feel sleepy. You would feel tired, like you don't want to do anything. You just want to lay around and sulk. And again, we talked about it. You can acknowledge that emotional impact, but don't sit in that emotion. Allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to understand what just happened, digest it, and now move on. We don't have time to waste. We got stuff to do. We got other jobs to apply for. We possibly have other businesses to create. We possibly have people that we need to serve. People are waiting on us to do what we need to do. Time doesn't stop because you lost a job. So give yourself time to get back to who you are, or to transition into the woman or the man that you were meant to be. Yes, Serena said definitely need to do a wardrobe cleanse, especially for this move. A wardrobe cleanse is necessary. A lot of the times we hold on to things because we feel like, oh, I can fit into it later. Or, oh, I'm going to hold on to that because someone special bought that for me. Or, oh, I'm going to hold on to it because it reminds me of this such and such time. And we don't realize that that's actually hurting us. That's actually negatively impacting us, holding on to things that no longer suit us. So, what you should do is cleanse your wardrobe of those pieces, whether you donate them, whether you sell them if they're still in good condition, whether you give them to someone else who needs them. It doesn't help to hold on to pieces that no longer suit us. It only hurts us because it reminds us of who we once were. It reminds us of where we once were. It reminds us of that job that let us go. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to go into a new job wearing the same clothes from an old job that let me go. Because now I put that on, I'm thinking, like, dang, I can't believe that job, after 10 years, that job has let me go. But I'm going to still wear this blazer, though. I'm going to still wear this blazer, and every time I put it on, I'm going to think about that job. I'm going to think about that job that I was at for over a decade, that I loved, that I adored, that I appreciated, that I thought I felt appreciated there. But obviously they didn't care about me because they just randomly let me go off of some email that Elon Musk sent out. I'm confused. So every time I put on this blazer, now I'm thinking about that whole experience. And now I don't feel good. Now I don't feel like anything. Now I don't even want to go to this job today. This new job that I have. Now I don't want to work. Because now I have on this blazer thinking about the job that let me go randomly, that I loved and that I appreciated and that I thought appreciated me. So as we transition into these new spaces, it will be so beneficial if you find some new pieces that suit you, and or get rid of those pieces that no longer suit you. And I get that being in the space of a transition, you may not be able to invest in new pieces. That's perfectly fine. So I would encourage you to rework the pieces that you already have. So instead of wearing that navy blue suit together, maybe wear that blazer with some different pants. Maybe wear those pants with a different top, and rework what you have. still using what you currently have, but until you're able to afford a new wardrobe or until you're able to afford some new pieces, use what you currently have and restyle it in different ways that you've never worn it before. So, I hope that was helpful. Invest in versatile polished pieces that make you feel confident. So when you're dressing for the transition and you are getting a severance, or you do have some money to invest in some new pieces, or maybe you're starting a new job already. You were let go yesterday, now today you're starting a new job. Congratulations, that is a blessing. Use that money and be intentional about what you're purchasing and making sure that you are purchasing pieces that's going to last, purchasing pieces that can be worn interchangeably in your wardrobe and that can fill those gaps in your wardrobe. Because once you cleanse your closet and get rid of items that no longer suit you, you're going to have some gaps. You're going to have some things that you may feel like you can't style fully because you don't have certain pieces. So when you cleanse your wardrobe and you get rid of those items, pay attention to what you have left and use that and work off of that. You may not need to uphaul your entire wardrobe. You may just need to add a few pieces that may have been missing. So definitely consider that. Number 3, shopping smart on a budget. So the word budget, I can sometimes hate that word because for a long time when I said the word budget or when I thought about the word budget, I always thought cheap, or I always thought like, you know, either used or cheap or not expensive, not good quality. But that technically isn't what budget means. So when I say shopping smart on a budget, I mean being intentional about where your money is going, just like I said before. So I actually have a budget. I set a budget every month, although I don't always stick to it. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Although I always don't stick to it, I have a shopping budget every single month. So whether it be $300 a month for new clothes and new shoes, whether it be $100 a month for new clothes and new shoes, and also shifting your perspective because $100 can go a long way. Number one. Number two, just because you only have $100 doesn't mean you have to buy all of these cheap things. You can invest in one good piece. So, for example, if you set a budget of $100 or $150 a month for new clothes or new shoes, and you find a pair of shoes that are $100 that you love, that are good quality, that go well with your wardrobe, that can be styled in a variety of ways, get that pair of shoes. Now, for the month, you spent your whole budget, but you got a nice pair of shoes that you know are comfortable, that you know you are going to wear, and that you know makes sense for where you're going. Just because you have $100 doesn't mean everything that you purchase has to be cheap. It's not it's not quantity over quality, it's quality over quantity. I feel like a lot of us are wanting to get a bunch of things at one time. But I will say, when you're building a capsule wardrobe that truly aligns with who you are, that takes time. That's not something you can buy all at once. Don't feel like you have to go out and say, all right, I'm buying a whole new wardrobe today. But all I got is $100. So let me see what I can do with that. Like, no. Investing in quality pieces, taking your time, being intentional, all of that is a process. So if you have a budget of $150 per month and you want something new, be intentional about what you're buying. Whether it be a top, whether it be a jacket, it could be 2 tops, one jacket, a pair of shoes, and that could be per month. March, I'm going to buy a pair of shoes. And next month, April, I'm going to buy 2 tops because I need some tops. And after that, January, February, March, April, in May, sorry y'all, in May, my budget is still $150. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy a pair of jeans because I need a new pair of jeans. So take your time with investing and shopping. Assess your current wardrobe, shop your closet before spending money. And that's why I always say, see what you have first before you decide to go out and shop. Because a lot of us are just shopping off of emotion. A lot of us are just shopping because we think we need new things, but we don't even know what we already have in our closet. Prioritize staple pieces that mix and match effortlessly. I'm reading my notes. And look for affordable ways to upgrade your wardrobe. You can do thrift items, you can do sale items, gently worn, clothing swaps. Everything doesn't have to be a bunch of things at one time. Take your time, be intentional. Number 4, how your style can support your next chapter. So, this is the good stuff. Dress as if the opportunity you want is already yours. So, if you're wanting to transition into a new role, if you're wanting to transition into a new industry, dress for that. Don't dress for where you currently are or where you once were. Dress for the person that you are becoming. Dress for the person that you want to show up as. You can never be overdressed. Coming from a stylist, you can never be overdressed. Now, you can be underdressed and probably look crazy, but you can never be overdressed. Just because everybody else isn't wearing a full suit to this event doesn't mean you can't. Just because everybody else doesn't have on a dress doesn't mean you shouldn't have on a dress. Like, stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and wearing. Stop following trends. I always talk about that. Trends come and go. Great style lasts forever. And if you have the foundational pieces, if you know your style, if you know your body shape, if you're clear on what your signature style is, have fun. Maybe dabble in some of the trends. But if you're still trying to find yourself, if you're not really sure what's what, following trends isn't really something that I would suggest personally. I don't really like following trends because I feel like, again, they come and go. And also, some trends they just really aren't my style. Don't feel like you have to follow trends and try things that aren't your style. You can follow trends, but only try the trends that make sense for you. Only try the trends that align with your personal style. I'm not trying any trends that I know won't flatter my shape, or I know won't look good on me, or I know, and I've tried them. Like, I'm not saying don't try it if you haven't tried it before. I feel like we get stuck in this space and we assume like, oh, that's not going to look good on me. I'm not going to try that. But you've never tried it before. That's like saying, oh, I don't like, what's a good example? What's a good example? I don't like avocado, but I've never tried avocado before. How crazy is that? You've never even tried it. How do you know you don't like it? You've never tried wide leg pants. How do you know you don't like them? You've never tried a blazer. How do you know you won't like it? So try it. Try it multiple times, different styles, different colors, different sizes, whatever, and see what you like. I think we need to normalize wearing what we like and stop wearing what everybody else likes. Stop wearing what everybody else is wearing. Wear what you like. What do you like? What colors do you like? What styles do you like? What patterns do you like? And start there and figure out, okay, I love zebra print, but I probably would not wear a zebra top. But I will wear some zebra shoes. Black and white goes with everything. It's a fun statement piece. Cool. And I say that because animal print is trending, although I never thought animal print went out of style. But hey, this is why I don't follow trends. But yeah, figure out how your style can support your next chapter. Confidence is key. How you feel in your clothes can impact how you present yourselves in interviews and networking situations. So, in order to be confident in how you're showing up, you have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable. Comfortability creates confidence. Even clarity brings confidence. So, if you're clear on your sizes, you're clear on your body shape, you're clear on what works for you and what doesn't, and you wear what works for you, then you should be confident. And you need to be confident at these interviews when you're interviewing for these jobs that you're applying for. You need to be confident at these events that you're going to, where you're meeting potential clients or meeting potential colleagues or even meeting potential bosses that you could be working for. So you have to be confident. And like I said, in order for you to be confident, you have to be comfortable. I can't be confident if I'm wearing something that I'm not comfortable in. I can't be confident if I'm wearing something that, doesn't fit me well. And I have to constantly keep adjusting and unbuttoning and zhuzhing and doing all of these things. That's a lot to worry about. And you should be focused on getting that interview. You should be focused on getting that job. You should be focused on the next chapter in your life. And you can't really focus if you're not comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, you're not confident. So I'll let that sink in. Now, I will say it is important to experiment with different styles that align with your future goals. This can be a time to reinvent yourself. So when you're in that transition, it is important to be comfortable, but also know that you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable at times as well. So you won't know, like I said earlier, if you like something if you don't try it. So this transition is the perfect opportunity to try some new stuff. You're in a new space. You just lost your job for the first time ever. You just lost your job. And you're in a space that you've never been in before. So it's the perfect time. You're already in a new space that you've never experienced before. So that's the perfect time to start experimenting with things that you've never experimented with before. Trying different colors, trying different patterns, trying different styles. And you'll find that you may end up liking the color green. Oh my gosh, I never thought. My favorite color has been black for years. I've never thought that I would like the color green. I never thought the color green even looked good on me. I've tried darker greens, but I've never tried lighter greens, and lighter greens look real good on me. I'm gonna start wearing this. And you come to find out that new colors and new styles that you've never tried before actually look good on you. And now, in those new colors and styles, now you're comfortable. So now that you're comfortable, you're now confident. And now that you're confident, you can walk into these interviews and secure the job. Or walk into the interviews and do amazing on the interview. Whether you secure the job or not, that's practice for the next interview you're going to get. And now you feel a lot better. You feel more positive. You're like, okay, I got this interview. Cool. I did a really, really great job on this interview. I don't know if I'm going to get the job, but I do know that I'm confident enough to keep applying and to keep putting myself out there. Now that I look good, now that I know what works for me, now that I know what flatters my shape, I'm confident. So now I'm going to go out here and not be afraid to ask if people are hiring. I'm not going to feel embarrassed. I'm not going to feel prideful to ask if any positions have opened up. I'm not going to feel that way because I look good. So they're going to look at me and be like, oh, you look nice today. Thank you so much. Are y'all hiring? Thank you so much. Are y'all accepting applications? Thank you so much. Are any positions open? Are any positions available that you may know of? So I hope that sits well with y'all. And last but not least, number 5, faith, mindset, and moving forward are what's going to help you to navigate this job loss with confidence. So having faith, having a positive mindset and or shifting your mindset and moving forward. Because like I said earlier, you cannot sit in this space where you are depressed and you feel some type of way because you lost your job. Again, in the beginning, I said acknowledge the emotional impact. So start by acknowledging it. But you cannot sit in that feeling. You cannot sit there because you have things to do. Time stops for no one. Y'all, we have things to do. So keep faith. You have to know that this season in your life at that job is no longer. But now you're going to move into a new season and find a new job and get blessed with new opportunities. So you have to continue showing up as the person that you were created to be, or even start showing up, because some of y'all weren't showing up as the person that you were created to be at that other job. You weren't doing what you were supposed to do with that other job. And I don't want to say that's the reason you've been let go, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but that might be why. A lot of the times when I was in a space where I was let go, I always thought to myself, like, dang, I really like that job. But maybe my time is up there. Maybe I wasn't meant to be doing that anyway. Maybe I've done everything there that I needed to do. Now I'm moving into a new space where I could do more and I can learn more. I don't know about y'all, but I really can't keep a job after 3 years. I get bored. I like to be challenged. And I'm a fast learner. So if I learn something, if I learn a new job, a new system, a new platform, a new tool, if I learn it quick and fast, and after 3 months, I'm like, all right, this is cool. What's next? and there's no way for me to like get challenged anymore. I'm bored. The longest I've ever had a job was 3 years. And that was only because I was young. I was in retail. So back then, I was in college. So I was going back and forth to that job. So I was in college mostly during the college time. And then when I went back home, I would work my retail job. So I wasn't there constantly. I wasn't there every day. Um, and every time I went, it was always something new to learn because I wasn't there every day. But after graduating college almost 10 years ago for me, and getting into the adult life and working the same job every single day and doing the same thing every single day, I'm like, how do y'all be staying at jobs for 50 plus years? I don't know how y'all do it. I'm still confused. My mother, she's retired now, but she was at her job working for the government. She left in 2019. She retired in 2019. Working for the government, she was there, y'all, for 30 years. Baby, I'm 30. What? Being at the same job doing the same thing for 30 years is insane. Now, if y'all do that and y'all enjoy it, I am not knocking that at all. But personally for me, I'm no. I'm good. Now, I'll run and work my business for 30 years because I have full control over what happens in my business. I have full control over what I'm doing every day in my business. But working a job for 30 years, I'm good with just a year and a half. I've learned everything I needed to learn. I've met all the people I needed to meet. I'm okay. So, like I said, going back to what I was trying to say, trusting the transition because the transition is going to lead you to something better. Use this time to refine your style, your career vision, your personal growth. Use this transition as a time to rebrand yourself, rework your wardrobe, rethink how you want your life to look like. You're in this position and you're in this season and you're in this transition for a reason. Don't waste it being depressed. Don't waste it sulking. Don't waste it being sad. Have your time being emotional and then move forward. Move on to what's next. Life moves so fast, y'all. I feel like I was just in elementary school yesterday. I'm confused. How am I 31? I don't know. I don't get it. What happened? Literally blinked and I'm old. And for those of y'all who are over the age of 30, look, I feel old. I don't, y'all might think I'm still a baby. I feel old. I don't care. Last thing, stay ready. Always stay ready because when the next opportunity comes, you'll already be showing up as the best version of yourself. So when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, like Trey Songz says. That's always a reminder. Like, you have to stay ready. God can be positioning you for something new and positioning you for a new opportunity. But instead of you preparing and having faith that that thing is going to come, you're still stuck on what happened. And he's not going to move you in that space if you're still stuck where you are. Because imagine you apply for 50 jobs. It's been a month since you've been out of work. You apply for 50 jobs. You have not updated your resume. You haven't purchased any new clothes. You aren't ready mentally to go into a new job. Say a job calls you the next day. They're like, "Oh, we want you to come in today. You're hired." And you're like, "Okay, well, now I need something to wear. Now I need to get my hair done. Now I need to." See? Now you're stressed out because the opportunity is here and you're not ready. So I'm gonna catch up on the comments because I see y'all commenting and laughing at me. Um, Baby, we are the same. I get bored super fast. Yes, I cannot. I can't with the 50-year plus job careers. Like, I cannot do that. So true. You will be surprised by how much help is out there and the number of people willing to help you. Yes. And when you lose your job, speak up. Let people know. On LinkedIn, they have a little notification you can put on your picture that tells people that you're looking for work. Make a post about it. Again, you're not the only one that have lost their job. Even when layoffs weren't happening to everybody, people were still losing their job. People lose their job every day, regardless of it being an international layoff or a statewide layoff. People lose their job every day. So it's important to vocalize what you're going through, vocalize what you're doing, what you're experiencing, and let people know. Somebody may have an opportunity for you. Somebody may just have another job for you, just waiting. And you will never know because you never let anybody know because you're so prideful because you don't want people to know that you just got let go from a job. Crazy. And yes, LinkedIn, there is an option. I think it's like something you could set in your settings, or you could let people know that you're open for work. I think it's another one that says like hiring if you're a business owner or even if you're a company. So you can let people know that you're open for work and you're ready. That's how you let people know you're ready. So I hope this was helpful to y'all. I was not supposed to be live for 50 minutes, but just a quick recap. We went through 5 different points on how navigating your job loss with confidence and through style is important. So 1, acknowledge the emotional impact. 2, dressing for the transition. Make sure that you are still showing up and investing in the right pieces and making the right choices. Number 3, shopping smart on a budget, being intentional about what you're purchasing. Number 4, how your style can support your next chapter. Dress for the opportunity you want and not for the opportunity that you just lost. And number 5, continue to be faithful. Continue to shift your mindset and move forward. Don't get stuck in where you currently are. So I hope this was helpful to y'all. I'm so excited to have been able to talk about this today. And I look forward to seeing y'all next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I go live every Tuesday at 12:30. Don't quote me, but if I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I may be here later. But every Tuesday at 12:30, I love to go live and talk about style, give tips, and give advice. And on Thursdays, you'll see me live again, but I'll be more so talking about the business of styling for those of you who want to be in the styling industry. But today, I'm focusing on those of y'all who want to elevate your style, who want to be more confident with their style, who want to show up, continue showing up, but show up as the person that you were created to be and not the person that everybody thinks you should be. So I hope this was helpful to y'all, and I will see y'all next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.